If you have no money, you should have no shame. I think that's Alex Ramosi. I think that's what he said. Now, I slightly disagree. Slightly. Let me explain. So when he says no shame, I'm going to assume that it's pretty much a blanket statement and that he's excluding the things that are just utterly degenerate and all of that. I mean, that's the only thing I would really disagree with there. The idea is this: you have to promote yourself. You have to make yourself known. You have to market yourself like never before. Why? Because the world, the market, is more crowded than ever before. And not only is it more crowded than ever before, there used to be a time, maybe 10 years ago, that people understood the opportunity of the internet and marketing on the internet and saying, oh, well, all the attention is here, but nobody knows how to do this yet. The thing is, more people know how to do it now. Realize this? Like, you have Gen Z that is competent. Millennials weren't as competent. Millennials aren't going to like that. A lot of millennials weren't as competent yet on how to properly market, how to properly message. Gen Z grew up in it. They saw the mistakes of millennials, and they're making runs at it, and they're doing really well. Not all millennials are bad. I'm not anti-millennial. I'm just saying it's the first step. Millennials had to deal with the brunt of all of the boomers giving them a lot of shame, and they still do. So I empathize with you, millennials. But you got to promote yourself. You got to make yourself known. And you are not going to make yourself known unless you have this one thing. And it's the thing that, it's the difference. It's the thing that gives you permission. It's love. Now let me back up. Let me backtrack. What does love have to do with self-promotion? And when I say self-promotion, again, we're talking about marketing. What does love have to do with marketing? There's a lot of people who aren't in the business space who are going to make the argument that if you are marketing, well, what you're doing is you're just trying to manipulate people. You're just trying to scam people. And I completely disagree with that. Here's why. If there is a train going as fast as possible, and there's this person who is basically asleep in a car on the tracks and has no idea. Let's say they got their headphones in. Headphones in, they're laying back like this, and they're going, ooh, ooh. They have no idea. But you're sitting behind this car, and you see that it is on the tracks, that they have fallen asleep at the wheel, and there's a train coming. What is your moral obligation? You're going to sit there and look at your watch, say, I wonder when this is going to crash, when this is going to go. I wonder when they're going to wake up, when they're going to move. Or do you sit there, you jump out of your car, you run, you knock on their window, say, get up, get up. Now, what happens in that process? You have to physically move. You have to extend effort. You have to go make yourself known. You have to make that person aware that you exist. You have to make them aware of their present situation, and you have to present them an opportunity to move forward and live. That is marketing. That is promotion. That is even advertising. It is making known. Now, assuming you are somebody who is compassionate, who is loving, who isn't, what is the official term? A psychopath, you're going to get out of the car and you're going to help that person. To a less extreme extent, in most cases, some of you maybe work in a medical field and it's a very real thing. If you have a thing that you know can save somebody's life, but you're not getting it in front of them, that's on you, right? I mean, that's something that you need to consider in your soul, in your conscience. Oh, man, I'm not serving people the way that I could. I'm not showing love to the people the way that I could. But the rest of us who aren't necessarily dealing with daily life or death, we still have to deal with this. Me. What I do is I help people get more clients. I help them make more money. If I do not market, I do not love the people that I would otherwise serve. I am not demonstrating how I can make their lives better. And if I don't make their lives better, what's the risks? Well, they could find somebody else. And it's not so much that they find somebody else, because look, there's a lot of great people that work in the internet marketing world. There's a lot of great marketers, but you don't know who they're going to come across. There are some people that just have the worst interest in mind for those clients. They could come across a malevolent actor, someone who is just trying to extract value and add no value to their life and to their business. I don't want that to happen. What else could happen? Well, they could come across someone who just doesn't really know anything. And so they're going to go and they're going to maybe try some things, and it just doesn't work out. Now, again, all marketing, there's an element of real life and real business, and you don't know what you don't know. So there is testing and there is iteration. But if a person doesn't work with a professional, they can't expect professional results. You see what I'm saying? So, again, another reason I have to make myself known. And what you start to do is you start to stack reasons logically in your mind why you need to be doing this that are outside of the fact of, I just need to make money. You know, that's what you need to do. You need to develop such conviction in what you do and why you do it that it will become second nature to promote yourself and to market yourself to where, yeah, I'm not ashamed. Look, if I don't make you aware of this, your life's going to be worse. That is the difference. That is what's going to give you the ability to sell. That is what's going to give you the ability to get on camera. That is what is going to give you not just the ability, but the permission to serve to the fullest extent that you can. Now, once you do that, we then have to play the game of, where am I going to get that attention? And where is the highest ROI that I can allocate not just my financial resources, but my energy and attention to as well? Part of the reason I post videos on YouTube, though I might not have millions and millions of subscribers, is YouTube is a compounding platform. The efforts I make today will continue to grow into the future. And that's just the nature of it. You can rank for search. Every once in a while, their algorithm will push older videos to trend. It just really depends. But that's why I like YouTube. That's why I personally use it. There are other methods and strategies to acquire clients that also compound. For example, there's a guy who I know who's a plumber, and his company that he works for has been in business, whatever, 30, 40 years or so. And at this point, they've amassed thousands and thousands of reviews on Google. So when people go and they're searching for a plumber around Houston, they're going to come up. And you think about the customer journey, typical e-commerce customer journey. What do people do? They're looking for it. If it's Amazon, for say, look for the product. Does it fit my description? Okay, yeah, that's it. They look at the images. Yeah, that makes sense. Look at the price. Okay. Now, what does everybody else say? They're looking at the reviews. They're looking at testimonials. They're looking at what it's rated. And the same thing if you're looking for a home service provider, if you're looking for a plumber. Okay, I don't want to find the 1-star guy. I don't want to find the guy with, you know, 5 reviews and they're all 2 stars. So there's something wrong here. You want to find somebody that you can trust that is as close to verify as possible so you can mitigate your risk as a consumer. And so those are things you got to consider. What are those elements that are going to make it easier for people to say yes to you? There needs to be a trust element. How can you build that trust? And that's what your marketing efforts and energy need to be going towards. What your promotional efforts need to do is build as much trust as possible. A couple ways to do that. How do you build trust, right? Expertise. Can you show that you know what you're talking about? Can you show that you're competent? Can you educate your market on what they need to do to achieve their desired end results? And if you can, you'll earn trust. Some of those ways could include tutorials, how-tos. People talk about thought leadership. I guess it's just like sharing ideas, right? I mean, you share ideas. At what point do you become a thought leader? I don't know. Just for me, I go back and forth on whether it's a silly concept or not. I would not want to call myself a thought leader. I would just want to share what I know, you know. But maybe that's just my own thoughts on thought leadership, which is paradoxical. But this is the idea: promoting yourself, promoting your ideas. There's a great book on consulting by a guy named Alan Weiss who says one of the best ways you can go and build your brain and promote yourself is to make predictions. Okay. So if you think that your industry is going somewhere, you need to make it known. So I could predict that there's going to be an AI bubble in the marketing space by 2027. It might be here now because everybody has access to AIs and can do these things and apply these models to where, you know, what makes you different? Differentiation and the unique selling proposition that you otherwise would have within the AI space just evaporates. Because what does it take? A month of development, maybe? If somebody takes the time and effort to match and basically have some of these softwares and automations go ahead and be added to their company. So there's an idea there. That would be an example of me going and talking about that and promoting myself. That I would position myself as a leading expert and thought leader in the field, right? So, what things can you talk about? What comes to mind? What are the conundrums? What are the preguntas? The problems that your market faces. The emerging trends, the emerging technologies. What are those things that you can go and share thoughts on? How you can lead and navigate people through? Because ultimately, what consumers need is a captain to drive the ship, to sail the ship forward. And the ship is the vehicle to the desired end result, which is what you have. It's your business. And it's the offer that your business entails and delivers. So promote it. You are going to take people on a journey, on an adventure. You are the best possible version of a Christopher Columbus taking people to the New World. A lot of people don't like Christopher Columbus. We're not going to get into that. If you don't celebrate Columbus Day, I missed the part where that's my problem. What we are talking about is your role in promotion, your role in marketing. You have to make it known. And eventually, you can have other people advertise for you. Have other people go and shine your bat signal in the sky to let everybody know, oh man, he's on his way. He's going to bring the solution. So you can have other people on your side help to market you as well and to promote your brand. So ask yourself, until you get to that point that you can have other people do it for you, what can you do on a daily basis to promote yourself? From your own soul, from your own spirit, out of love, to communicate, to be sharp, right? I told my wife, when you think about promotion, when you think about marketing, you have to be sharp. You have to have a message that will cut through all the rest of the noise. And so there's a point to it, right? It's not just flat. It's not just going to hit like this. Like you want to be able to cut through the market. This is the idea. Have a message, make it loud, make your offer to solve a problem, and go do it. Find something today. Post a video, create an ad, run it. Throw some marketing dollars behind it. Actually spend some advertising. Don't be afraid of spending. Do it. You got the budget? Do it. If you don't have the budget, you need to get creative other ways. You need to get a little guerrilla in your marketing efforts. By the way, you see that argument about on X about those people saying that 100 guys could beat a gorilla? I take the gorilla. Nevertheless, promote yourself, make yourself known, and I will see you guys on the other side. But if you need more help marketing, go to paytonigo.com. I can help you guys out. We could talk a specific strategy for your business. If you're just getting started, you don't know what to do yet. Well, I've got some resources that I can point you towards to help you get started on your journey. And I'll see you guys once we do that in the next video.